We are back. We're talking about wrestling in 2024 because there was a lot of good, a lot of great. Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns and finishing the story. If there was a roof, it doesn't exist anymore in that stadium. It was awesome. WWE's trajectory has just been good and good and good, and they have backed it up with good and good and good.
Obviously, TKO has put full faith in Triple H and Shawn Michaels to pull these brands together and to make something of it.
And it's not just WWE. WWE is just the biggest example of the big positives that are happening.
And
TNA had
TNA had a huge year. Even with Scott D'Amore going away, we thought, oh shit, this is going to be the end of it. Nope.
In fact, the success almost accelerated.
Yeah.
You have the introduction of the new promotion of Maple Leaf Pro that gives more people room to work.
Yeah.
You have the era of the podcast starting to come back, and these stupid fucking reaction channels going the fuck away. I'm sorry. They're terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
They're terrible. I don't know why I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I mean, we kind of do it, but at least we show the damn match.
That's true.
So, what else? GCW is making big waves. We had Bloodsport introducing with WWE wrestlers on almost a consistent basis.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Same thing with Noah. Same thing.
Yeah, Noah continues to have their relationship going into 2025 with Omos being in a tag team title match there. It's awesome. I want to see more of it.
Yes. I do too.
We have a clear trajectory. WWE wrestling is becoming more mainstream almost across the board.
Yep, it absolutely is. I mean, hell, I just saw in the paper today about Cody Rhodes and WrestleMania being one of the top events to look forward to in 2025 here in Vegas. So, it has hit the mainstream for sure.
Yep, it has. It has come back to that. We don't generally do like, oh, here's a wrestler in the match and all of that. I will say that the matches have been extremely good. Mm-hmm. They have been safer. They have been constructed better. The stories have been better across the board with a lot of these companies, WWE being the big prime example. AEW's had their gems. I'll have to give them that. I will say the match between Ospreay and Danielson was an amazing match. Yep. They've had their peaks and valleys.
And again, after last night, I'm cautiously optimistic about AEW going forward.
Yes, they did end with a little bit of a positive note. Hopefully they continue that. I'm not going to hold my breath on that, but I'm at least going to be happy for now.
Yes.
But obviously you will be listening to me on the 1st.
Yes.
On the 1st? Is that the first show of the year? Yeah, that's Wednesday.
It is, yeah, Wednesday.
Yep. Wednesday evening.
Yep.
Now, with all of the good, with all of the big good stuff, there have been a lot of negatives.
Empty arenas.
The empty arenas, the Janelle Grant stuff that happened earlier this year that really
Vince McMahon is going to be put through the ringer, baby.
Well, right now it's in they want to do adjudication with it. Depending if they will accept that, it means that essentially the entire lawsuit will be over at that point, because as soon as it goes into adjudication,
everyone's being paid.
Yep. No, that's what that is.
Yeah.
They're all going to be paid, and they're all going to keep their mouth shut, and nobody's going to jail. That's what's going to happen.
Obviously AEW. Now, what I do like, though, is that despite this year being bad, they are seeing that this is a trend that's just going to continue. So they are actively trying to move to smaller venues.
They are. The big, gigantic arenas that are, 1/4 full is not a good look on any metric. The audience, I have to say this to you. The people who constantly defend AEW, who go online and do that, you are the biggest problem, because anybody who likes AEW, and this is me included, do not want to be associated with you.
Right.
You're like,
IWC is as toxic as ever.
I would say it's almost even more toxic, and really it does stem from the people who just blindly, weirdly follow and just perpetuate AEW.
It's almost become a cult for
Tony
Khan.
It is a cult. It is a cult to the name cult. And I studied cults. That was my thesis in college, was cults. I know.
It does scream. It does.
You're with us. You're with us, or you're against
Right.
us. Like you have to like everything or like nothing. That is not the attitude.
Look, AEW, they have pains. It's not growing pains. I think they've reached their peak. They're in a downward trajectory.
Yep.
Because AEW was founded as a result of WWE just being so bad from a creative standpoint. But now that WWE has all of a sudden gotten good, and we have seen the numbers, and we've seen what happens when these two brands go head to head, more people are choosing to watch WWE over AEW. But that's just a fact.
But AEW's product has changed.
It has.
And that's also another big problem. They have changed.
Yeah.
They have really put people on top who shouldn't be. The inmates are running the asylum now more than ever.
Yeah.
More than ever. They have made absolutely boneheaded the wrong choices. Did they release that Punk footage in 2024?
I don't think so. I think that was 23.
Okay. That was really bad. There have been a lot of extremely poor decisions on their part. And people always say, why are you looking at the numbers? The numbers are the metric that anybody that has any voting power care about.
Right.
Yes, you have that TV extension, but there is a pullout clause from Warner Brothers Discovery that ends, I think, in 2026.
Yeah.
They have until 2026
to steer the ship. They have to steer the ship into a positive direction in 2026.
And if the rumors from AEW's Shockwave being canceled from Fox, those negotiations ending because of the trajectory, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't. You might be somewhat optimistic. I watch it every week. Yeah. And it's hard. It's sometimes hard for me to do it.
They really got to follow it up, though. They really have to follow it up with a banger year, but
they have to.
Just don't see that.
I'm not going to hold my breath. They have to come out.
Again, I'm optimistic, very cautiously optimistic.
Yep.
I think at some point in time they're going to level out, but you're not going to see the 2019 and 2020 numbers. You're just not going to see those.
You're just not. I mean, if they kept in their lane and did their shit, they could have been fine. They could have been easily doing 800 to 1 million viewers a week without any problems. Yeah. But they made Collision. Yeah. They had Rampage, which is such a waste of time. They just did too much. And then they changed a lot of things. And they did a lot of dumb shit that just made no sense.
But other brands that have had a bad year, I mean, WWE is now, obviously WWE has their problem with just not building up like what we saw with the women's division, especially on Raw. Like, it's been dominated by Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Even though they get good ratings and good pops, there just isn't a lot of inclusion of other wrestlers.
Right. And it's like, after that, who else can theoretically challenge for these titles?
That has been an issue for WWE this year.
TNA almost had the same problem with Jordynne Grace being the women's champion, where she was defending it against everybody.
Yep. And then they ran out of people to defend.
Now, they did build up Masha really well. I will at least give them that. How they had Gunther and his title reign against Sami Zayn, and not what people really wanted was Chad Gable. There was that negative there too.
NWA is still recovering from their Sam Hain debacle.
Yep.
It is.
They're making a comeback.
It is mixed, but they are making a comeback.
They are making a comeback. To what I've heard, they are going to be doing pay-per-view again.
Okay.
Which is a positive.
Yep.
They really have to hit home because of what happened with Jax.
Yep.
That was very unfortunate for them. But but the thing is that Jax Dane really was a big-time representative of NWA. He was NWA champion during a really low point in them. He was, to what I've seen, a huge influence on the morale in the locker room of NWA.
So NWA needs to. I think they're going to recover. It's going to be painful recovery, but I think they're going to pull through.
They're staying in their lane.
They have the nostalgic advantage. They have a territory system that they're slowly building up.
Yep.
So there's a lot to look forward to.
And people are saying, oh well, WWE now has their indie program. Not every promotion can be under WWE's banner.
Right.
So I think a conjunction with NWA could be just as fruitful
Yeah.
if you're maybe a smaller company. If you pull in maybe 150 people in a rec center, you're still a promotion.
Yeah.
That's still fine. There are a lot of people who come from that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great positive for them as well, but they've definitely had some hard ones. The deaths this year have been a lot with Sid Vicious, with Jax Dane. Bray Wyatt died last year.
Yes, he was 23.
Yeah, he was 23.
But yeah, overall wrestling has its ups and downs. WWE just dominating the headlines literally everywhere. AEW just not generating the same buzz.
Yep.
And that's all we've got.
Right. Now, before we sign off, let's talk about Make Pro Wrestling Majestic again. We've had a really good year.
That's good.
Overall. From last year, from between 2022 and 2023, between this year and last year, like within that conjunction, we have doubled our subscribers. Not just within the frequency from the last year's cycle, but this year we doubled that double. Right. So we were doing really good there.
Obviously, the blog has started to take off.
Yep.
That started, I think I started that in July.
Yep.
And I've been pretty consistent with that.
Okay. Obviously, you were seeing the numbers on there.
The numbers are going up quick.
Okay, good.
We're almost seeing 1,000 views a month already.
Great. That's awesome. I'll go ahead and check that out.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's really good, actually. Definitely check that out. Peanut Gallery runs that. Right now, I am working on getting a new vendor for our hats and other merch. So be on a lookout for that.
Yep.
There are a lot of big time changes. We're really going to crank in on this. And really, really exciting stuff is going to be happening.
Yeah.
Structurally, things might change big, but we'll let you know on there. Thank you very much for everybody who listens, watches, shares, comments, likes, everything. We really appreciate it. It's always a lot of fun with us, with the controversies and everything.
I am still not involved in the Fightful situation.
With everything there, I hope everybody at Fightful had a new year. I hope everybody that even opposes to us had a good year overall. I hope for the best for all of you, maybe except for you, Sap. You fuck off. That's a joke. That's obviously a joke. This is not Tiger Height. This is Adam talking to you now. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes.
Definitely a good year. We're excited to move forward on there. And trust me, Tiger Height, he's going to be on your ass.
Yep. We're going to continue.
Yep. So as always, be
majestic.